I got into midterm rentals a few years ago. I bought an investment property and decided that midterm rentals seemed like a space that I wanted to be in. It seemed like less hassle than short-term rentals, but more profitable than long-term rentals. And so I just went all in, started learning about all the different niches and all the different types of people that use midterm rentals, which I think really is kind of a new term that's been coined, but corporate housing and monthly rentals and temporary housing has been around for decades. But this term midterm rentals is kind of a bit of a buzzword at the minute. And so started working with corporate companies, insurance relocations, people that need temporary housing for a minimum of 1 month, and helping them find the housing by connecting them with people in my community or people within my network who have rental properties. And so we've been doing that for the last couple of years. And we are just about to launch the Aros platform, which will connect these two people directly. So we get a lot of leads from insurance relocations currently and some corporate providers. And I want to connect those opportunities with the people in my network who have rental properties.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Big Hitters podcast. I'm joined by Abi Horton, who's a friend of mine from the Dan Martell coaching community. In fact, I see that she has the Buy Back Your Time book right behind her. And Abi has a really cool business that she started that works in the midterm rental space and has some pretty cool technology that she's about to roll out. So I'm excited to pick her brain because this is something that I don't really know anything about. Abi, tell us, how did you start? It's Aros Hospitality, right, is the name of the company. How did you start it? Where did the idea come from? Tell us a little bit of the story there.
Yeah, so I got into midterm rentals a few years ago. I bought an investment property and decided that midterm rentals seemed like a space that I wanted to be in. It seemed like less hassle than short-term rentals, but more profitable than long-term rentals. And so I just went all in, started learning about all the different niches and all the different types of people that use midterm rentals, which I think really is kind of a new term that's been coined, but corporate housing and monthly rentals and temporary housing has been around for decades. But this term midterm rentals is kind of a bit of a buzzword at the minute. And so started working with corporate companies, insurance relocations, people that need temporary housing for a minimum of 1 month, and helping them find the housing by connecting them with people in my community or people within my network who have rental properties. And so we've been doing that for the last couple of years, and we are just about to launch the Aros platform, which will connect these two people directly. So we get a lot of leads from insurance relocations currently and some corporate providers. And I want to connect those opportunities with the people in my network who have rental properties. So that's the platform.
Let's talk about midterm rentals for a second. So this was a new term to me about a year ago.
Yeah.
What qualifies as midterm? Like what's the length of time?
Yeah, it's longer than 1 month and less than 12. So Typically people say the average is 3 to 6 months. What we've been seeing with insurance relocations is the average is about 7.
So an insurance relocation, so someone's house catches on fire or floods or something like that, and then the insurance company is paying for this family to be moved into a new location.
Exactly. Yeah. So if their home is damaged beyond the point that they can stay in it, it has to have the repairs done. They'll find somewhere else to stay. And so we try and find them something that is as close to where they were coming from in size and location. But that can be a really kind of laborious process in finding something that's available now that matches the location, the size. Maybe they need a fenced in backyard or whatever that might look like. And so finding that property is a bit like a needle in a haystack with the current platforms that are out there. So the platform that we've launched will kind of really streamline the process for the people that need housing and connect them directly to the people that have the housing.
Okay. Let's talk numbers for a second. If you can give us a sense of the size of your business, either maybe your top line revenue, how many doors you have, whatever you feel comfortable sharing with us.
Yeah. So this year we're just past about 700,000 for the year. So we've been doing really well. We've been growing really well. And I want to bring these opportunities to the landlords that have the properties. So right now, I describe it as more like a done for you service. But the way that I'll be able to do it within Aros, the platform, is that we'll be able to connect these two opportunities directly.
So your ideal client would be someone that has rental properties, and you're going to help do a done for you service that will turn it into a midterm rental for them.
Yeah, so we can connect with anybody that has short-term rentals, long-term rentals, mid-term rentals, furnished, unfurnished. Really doesn't matter. If you have a residential rental property, you can register on the Aros platform, and there's no sign-up fees, so it doesn't cost anything to sign up, and you'll start immediately receiving the matches to the housing request. So the way that the platform works is that the people that need the housing can create a housing request. So say they need a property close to 123 Main Street in Austin, Texas. They need a 3-bedroom house, 2 bathrooms, fenced in backyard, and a garage. It will match through anybody that's registered on the platform that is within the radius of 123 Main Street in Austin, Texas, that has 3 bedrooms. And then it will also kind of show the matches for the fenced in backyard, the garage, things like that. But the main matching criteria is going to be location and size.
Okay, cool. So what are, out of curiosity, it sounds like you guys are doing something really cool. What are some sticking points maybe that you have? What are some areas where you feel like, this isn't going as well as I'd like, or this is an area of improvement?
Yeah, well, great question. I being in the world of tech is relatively new to me. I'm a real estate investor, so I know how the real estate side of this works, and I know how the transactions work, and I want to extend that to other people in my real estate network. And so the tech journey has been interesting. I've learned a lot. I'm not doing it myself. I don't pretend to be a coder or a developer. We have a team that's doing all of that, but it's definitely, I've learned a lot. There's been delays. There's been a lot of delays because I know how the process works to efficiently get the leads from one place to the next, right? And so I want to be able to share more opportunities with these people and do it in a way that works. And so I know what platforms are out there already, and I know how we can do it to make it better. And so there's been a lot of tweaking for the development on the tech side. But we are now live. Just we originally planned to go live much earlier this year, but because of delays, it's just taken a little bit longer. So I would say that sticking points has been just getting to that point of going live. And now we're in the process of just onboarding properties. So onboarding landlords and properties, getting them registered. And the next phase is going to be going live with the housing requests, which we're really close to doing, but not quite there yet.
Okay. How are people finding you out of curiosity? Is it all referrals? Do you have a funnel? Like, what's your mode of acquisition?
Yeah. So, we're appealing to any landlords, any person with a rental property, a residential property. So it's mostly been through kind of organic traffic, social media connections that we've already had, word of mouth. Like I said, we've been doing this business for a few years now. So we've made a lot of connections through there. And just being present in social media, communities, forums, groups. That's how it's been so far. We do intend on doing some paid ads too, but since we just went live, we haven't done that yet. But that's kind of next on the list to just appeal to more people. Like I said, we want to work with people that use Airbnb or other platforms that are currently out there, because we can be another resource to them. And I think it's great to be on all the platforms. And so we want to just be another source of opportunity to find good guests.
That's awesome. What are some, okay, let's talk Dan Martell for a sec, since that's how we know each other. So his book changed my life. What are some ways that it has changed yours, or changed your business, or changed, anything really?
Yeah, I love Dan. I think I'm a huge fan. Since I read the book, I've been following his content. And I think he's, he can come across as really tough love, which can be really intimidating at first. And I even questioned, like, wait, am I ready for this? But it's really, he holds you accountable because he cares. And I know you know this, but, for anybody that doesn't know him, it really is tough love, because he really wants that success for you. And I love that. I think he's so wise, and the way that he shares his wisdom is just so easy to consume. It just makes so much sense. So I love all his systems, and just getting everything figured out the way that he thinks. The book changed my life too. I'm currently kind of the beginning of the replacement ladder. So I have my executive assistant who helps out a lot. That really helped me get kind of streamlined on working on the business and moving forward. And yeah, I'm a huge fan.
Let's talk about AI for a second. How are you using AI currently, and where do you feel like you could be using it that you're not?
Yeah. Oh, AI. Oh, wow. It's such a, I find it fascinating and terrifying. I'm sure, like most people. We're currently using it for just very simple automations, connecting leads, messages, things like that. I definitely see room to be able to incorporate more use of AI within our platform. But at this point, we're just getting started. And I think that the priority is to kind of just get going. And that will be an investment that we will include later on for sure. Definitely things like making the uploading of listings easier by just being able to upload a link rather than having to manually enter how many bedrooms there are, how many bathrooms, amenities, things like that. If you have a link from an existing site, you could just use that. So that's an AI tool that we looked into, but I just don't know if I can justify the cost at this stage. But yeah, we'll certainly be using more AI. And I think I'm excited to also, I think we're in such a pivotal point in AI for everybody that, it's developing so fast that I think that I kind of want to just see where it's going and how that develops, to see where we can incorporate it and when it makes sense.
What are all the things that you do as a midterm rental company? So do you manage all of the collecting of rent, the upkeep of the properties? Do you deal with all of that?
Yeah, so the Aros platform is fully it facilitates the full transaction. So it uses Stripe as a payment processor, but you'll receive the payment directly through Aros. So very similar to Airbnb. Once the booking is made, you can transfer. You can exchange lease agreements and details. All the communication will go through Aros, and then the payments also go through Aros as well. So we don't do management of the property, but our focus is on bringing more opportunities to the landlords that are registered on the platform, so that they can stay booked. Yeah.
That's awesome. I love that. What's one thing we haven't talked about today that gets you fired up?
That's a good question. I really just, I started this journey. I told you I'm a real estate investor. I'm not a tech person, but when I saw that this opportunity, I saw that there was an area here that could be made better. And I don't think that there's a platform out there that does it efficiently yet. And I think that Aros will really be able to change the way that people look for housing. Because right now it's very much looking for a needle in a haystack. If you want something, you have to go to the current platforms and you type in Austin, Texas, and then you zoom in the map and you put the filters, and you have to start clicking through and finding what's available. And then you have to start reaching out, is your place available, or make a call or an email. And it's very time consuming. And I think that the way that Aros functions can change this industry. I think it can streamline processes for the people that need housing, like corporate housing providers, insurance relocation companies. They will be able to create a housing request within 2 minutes, and it will notify the landlords. The landlords can submit their property if it's available. So they will get the available properties to their inbox. And that will happen, automatically. And then they can make a decision with this information that is up to date, it's valid, it's available, with very minimal work. And so when I kind of saw that this opportunity could be done, I couldn't not do it. And, I love the position that I've been in over the last couple of years of being able to bring these opportunities to more people who have properties. like I said, as a real estate investor, the worst thing is vacancy. Like that's the one thing you don't want. So if I can bring these opportunities of occupancy to my fellow real estate investors, that makes me really excited. I get to help the people that need housing by helping them find it quicker. I get to bring opportunities to the people that have housing and keep them booked. And then also specifically to insurance relocations, but some of the families that are impacted by these disasters are going through some of possibly the worst thing they've ever experienced in their lives. And, I've been able to connect with these families and understand their stories. And that honestly really kind of changed the game for me. I think a lot of people don't think about that type of category, the people actually need the housing and what they're going through. And so for me to be able to make that process just a little bit easier for them and find them somewhere safe and comfortable to live, it feels like a win-win-win, And I don't know if you've read the book, was it 7 Habits of Highly Effective People?
Yeah.
Always looking for the win-win-win. And so it feels like I'm in that spot.
I love that. Cool. Well, if people want to learn more about who you are and what you do, where can they go?
Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram. It's the Abi Horton. And actually, if you want to give me a follow and send me a DM with the word Andrew, then I'll send you a free resource, which is how I manage my out-of-state rentals for my MTRs. So top tips on how to manage out-of-state.
I love that. Yeah. Definitely use the word Andrew because that's that's great. That's cool. I haven't had a guest do that before. I like that. So cool. Well, don't go anywhere. I want to keep chopping it up, but thanks so much for coming on the podcast.
Thanks for having me.